Welcome everyone to the start of a new season on Friday nights. Welcome to the TWIGI iRacing series. The Clash of the Titans is tonight from Southern National Motorsports Park. Watching Merrick Watchorn as he took laps. There's John Holliday making his unofficial series debut tonight as a wild card entry for the Clash of the Titans. As drivers usher themselves in for what will be a very interesting affair here tonight before we get things seriously kicked off next week at Daytona. For those that are new, I'm Carmen Hardy. So we watch drivers adjust to the short track here in Southern National. John Holliday currently fourth fastest. Watchorn just went first fastest. Series champion Jacob Elkins currently sitting third fastest. John Holliday, as you just saw him, fourth fastest. James Wurtzema sitting fifth fastest. I had John Bowalda Jr. Very interesting short track here. So the National is. More drivers getting on track here as we get ready to go. Watchorn, Daffin, Elkins, Holliday, Wurtzema top five. Bowalda, Van de Strict. We have Tuttle, Reed, Milo, Isaac, Dixon, Stanley, and Gomilon. Or Gamillion, sorry. So National Xfinity cars, chaos. It can be. We will see. The way it kind of breaks down is going to be interesting. We got two 75-lap heats and then a 100-lap feature. The top, I believe it's the top 7 of each heat go into the feature. Right now we're at 14, so everyone will make it in so far. Moment we get up to, moment we get above 14, and we're at 15 right now because Joshua Jernigan is not yet set a lap time. Then you start talking about drivers that won't make the feature. There's a cap of 20 cars for this exhibition event. It was an invitational race. Top 20 in the points from 2022 got first dibs on entering this event. those in the top 20 that did not want to appear in this event were replaced by wild cards. Drivers who either did well in the TNGG Truck Series, or those that have joined this season got a chance to be a wild card entry. All 15 cars at lap time so far. How many cars on track at the moment? Two drivers on track here. Jacob Elkins, John Holliday, and Alan Isaac. Also coming in is Patrick Hernandez. A lot of cars moving back to pit lane here with about 14 minutes left in practice. Again, Merrick Watchorn, the fastest driver of the bunch right now. So with Patrick Hernandez, we now have 16 cars out of a possible 20. With 13 minutes left to go. See Doug Tuttle, his best finish, second in Atlanta last year. Looking to bring it to the win column for TWIGI iRacing. 10 minutes left to play here in Southern National. See if we can go on board with a lap for somebody. We're on board with Jacob Elkins here. Elkins keeping it nice and tidy, getting it to the bottom in 1s and 2, going to the bottom in 3 and 4. Set of track. $16 drivers to the lap time so far. James Lovejoy, the only driver to not set a lap time so far in tonight's event. About 6 minutes, 30 seconds left to play here in practice. Then we have qualifying and then the first heat of 2. And then the main event. Again, we'll kind of break down how this night's going to go here once we get through qualifying. But there's 2 heats that'll determine the starting grid for the feature. Both these heats, 75 laps. We got 17 cars on track for this 9 points event. Practice getting closer to closing here, as everyone gets settled in and ready to go, including us on the production side of things. But yeah, I appreciate you spending your time on a Friday evening. You're on ABN. Start of a new season of competition here for the TWIGI iRacing series. Checkered flag is out as we get ready to go. Alrighty, time to focus on qualifying as we get ready to go. We will have, it looks like 18 cars for tonight's event. Looking at Jacob Elkins as he gets ready to qualify. First lap in the books for Elkins, 14.9. Bellotta and Stanley join the board. Second lap in the books for Elkins. It does improve, 14.8. Watchhorn. Winningest driver in TWIGI iRacing Series competition. What has he got? Elkins stays top of the board. Tuttle second, Holiday third. Looking at around the bottom, across for lap 1. Lap 2 should be faster. Watchhorn goes top of the board anyway. 14.85. .73 for Watchhorn to set his fastest lap. Patrick Hernandez, and number 19. Gamillion goes front row provisionally. Hernandez only right now 13th fastest. He'll move to 6th on that second lap, 14.99. James Lovejoy could not set a valid lap time, so he will not be on the board. Wurtsema trying to get on the board. 10th fastest on that first lap. Can he improve from there? He will not improve enough to jump. So it's Flachorn, Gamillion, Elkins, Tuttle, top 4. John Holliday, 5th. Patrick Hernandez, 6th. Then it's Timmy Reed, John Bowalda Jr., Jack Stanley, James Wurtsema, Giovanni Ochapinti, Alan Isaac, Chris Van Mistricht, Michael Milo. The 14 that set a lap time so far. James Lovejoy, he had to set a lap time, ran 2 laps, but tagged the wall in both laps. Daffin, Jernigan, and Dixon also yet to set a qualifying time. Not a bad run for Watch 1E Motorsports. 1, 2, 3 with Hernandez 6th. Less than a minute left. It looks like that's how the start. That looks like that's how qualifying is going to end. Again, they're going to break up into 2 different heats. So Watchorn will be in Heat 1. Same with Elkins, Holiday, Reed, Stanley, Ochapinti, and Van Mistricht. Whereas everyone with Gamillion, Tuttle, they'll be in Heat number 2. But that's how qualifying will end here in Southern National. So the way it's going to work here is to get ready for this heat. Here's the starting grid for Heat 1. It's Watchorn, Elkins, Holiday, Reed, Stanley, Ochapinti, Van Mistricht, Daffin, and Jernigan. Daffin looks like will not make a start here. Top 7 make it into the feature. That is what everyone's goal is so far. 8 drivers will take to the track in this race. So 1 driver will not make the feature. 75 laps in this heat race. 75 laps in the second heat as well. Caution laps do not count in this heat race. You see the timer we have for the heat, 1.5 hours. But it's all about getting to lap 75. And being in the top 7 when you do. Green flag in the air. Heat race number 1 is underway here at Southern National. Elkins on the outside lane. Watchorn in the middle, or in the inside lane, I should say. Someone was in the middle. And a 3 wide situation further in the back, and I believe that was Van Mistrick that tagged the wall. But so far, so good. Watchorn, Elkins, Reed up to 3rd. And it was Ochapinti that tagged the wall, not Van Mistrick. Watchorn and Elkins staying heel and toe. Timmy Reed not too far behind here in 3rd, but it's quickly become a 2-horse race. John Holliday in 4th. Josh Jernigan just tagged the wall in 5th, so did Jack Stanley in 6th. There's Van Mistrick in 7th. Ochapinti going a lap down early. Damage on that 000 machine. Watchorn and Elkins are on the tail end of Van Mistrick, Jernigan, and Stanley here as they try to get around the lap traffic. Van Mistrick makes it easy. Van Mistrick's in the 7th spot. He's in the transfer spot. Jernigan in the 40. Oh, Stanley side by had a little bit of an issue there. A little bit of contact with Jernigan. But it looks like both cars will keep going. So caution is out. So, positions are frozen. Seeing as how caution laps do not count in this heat or the next heat. So, positions are all frozen. So everyone is permanently stuck on lap 11 at the moment. All 8 cars still running in this race. Van Mistrick will get the lucky dog here. Caution light goes out on the safety car. It's Watchorn, Elkins, Holliday, Reed, Stanley, Van Mistrick. And we're back underway. Beginning lap 12. little bit of a zoom out here from atop the grandstands here. Sense of scale in this as Van Mistrik's in the wall hard. And a decent amount of damage on that right front. Chapenti still on track with his damage. There's Josh Jernigan. Some front damage. Jack Stanley, who caused the first caution. A little bit of damage as well on that door. Watchorn leads this race over Elkin. There has been the previous 15 laps so far. Not as close as it was in the opening stanza. Gaps opened up to about a second. See, time-wise, this heat still has an hour and 22 minutes left to play. We're on lap 20, so we're definitely not going to use all that time. Van Mistrik getting out of the way. Jernigan queued up to go another lap down. 2 laps down now for Jernigan. On board here, Jacob Elkins. See if we can go on board with them. As Stanley almost lost it again. Series champion losing time to Merrick Watchorn. Right on board. Jack Stanley is in, as is Chris Van Mistrik. Jacob Elkins almost lost it out of turn 2. Rapidly approaching lap 30. Watchorn making it look clinical. Number 3 of Timmy Reed. Still sitting up in 3rd position. There's Jack Stanley there in the 95, sitting in the 7th spot. Bramistrick still in pit lane. John Holiday in the 38, sitting 4th. Watchorn trying to navigate Jernigan once again. Jernigan takes the inside lane. Watchorn will get around easily. Kind of show you what everyone's running. Toyota's top of the board. Only 2 in this heat. Then Chevrolet's 3rd and 4th. Ford 5th and 6th. And a Chevrolet in the last transfer spot in 7th. Eric Watchorn making it look easy as the 38 almost loses it. That was Holiday. Hooked the apron and almost spun it around. Watchorn gave enough space to make it a non-issue. Elkins, Timmy Reed in 3rd. About equal spacing between Elkins and Reed, and Merrick Watchorn. We've crossed the halfway point in heat number 1. Eric Watchorn making it look clinical. Elkins sitting in 2nd. Caution's out for the 2nd time. It's for an accident, I believe. Jack Stanley once again. He's up around sideways, and I believe Holiday had a piece of it as well. Here's the loop. Nothing quite significant there. But in front of traffic, yellow flag has to come out. Watchorn and Elkins come down pit lane, though. That'll be interesting. Timmy Reed stayed out. John Holiday should get back on the lead lap here. In fact, they all get wave rounds here. Second caution of the night for another spin involving Jack Stanley. This time, no one collided with him, so everyone got away pretty scot-free with that. Holiday back on lead lap. Jernigan 2 laps down. Same with Achapenti. Jack Stanley 4 laps down. Van Maastricht still in pit lane. Pace car will pull in. And away we go. A little bit of wheel spin there from Elkins. But we're back underway. Less than 30 laps to go. Fresh tires, see if Elkins can do anything about Watchorn. Reed holding on in that 3rd spot. There's Achapenti going another lap down here, staying out of the leader's way. Right now, sitting pretty well, just sitting in that 7th spot, that last transfer spot. No pressure on Achapenti at this point. Just sit, learn the track, and get ready for the feature. 24 laps to go, though, from Eric Watchorn. Wants to start on pole position for that feature. Elkins sits 2nd, Timmy Reed sits 3rd. A little bit of contact there. Jernigan holding up Watchorn just a little bit. Didn't help Elkins too awful much. Watchorn has it dialed in like no other. Elkins sitting in 2nd. Timmy Reed sitting in 3rd here. Yeah, John Holiday in the 4th position. Caution's out for the 3rd time. This time for Achapenti, who has jumped back to pit lane. I have an Achapenti here. He's going to send it to turn 3 and 4. Ooh. Hard hit by Achapenti. Stanley got a piece of it as well, and that was in front of the race leaders. Has completely misjudged that corner. Watchorn leads over Elkins, Reed, and Holiday. Jernigan will get one of his laps back here. And again, lap count's frozen at 17 laps to go. As we get ready here, Watchorn, Elkins, Reed, Holiday, and Jernigan all on the lead lap, it looks like. No, Jernigan's still a lap down, excuse me. A bit of a timing glitch there. The 4 cars on the lead lap, Jernigan only 1 lap down, another caution, and he's back in it. 17 to go, pace car is in, and away we go. Watchorn sitting ahead of Elkins, Reed, and Holiday. A lot of pressure from Reed onto Elkins here. Thank you for the bit sign on. Joining in near the end of Heat 1. We have another heat after this, and then the 100-lap feature here in the Clash of the Titans. It's been a dominant run so far for Merrick Watchorn. He's led every single lap in this event. 11 laps to go. Dialed in and hooked up and ready to go. Laps tick away really quickly here. 15-second lap times. 15 seconds flat for Watchorn in that last lap. Been a phenomenal effort by Watchorn tonight. 9 to go. He's pulling away from Elkins once again. Reed applying a lot of pressure. What can Reed do to Elkins? Where you finish in this heat will determine how you start the feature in the inside lane. Top 7 transfer through. Achapenti's out of this race. Stanley sitting 6th, 2 laps down. Reed's lost a little bit of time to Elkins. 6 laps to go. Laps ticking away quickly. Coming to the white flag, 1 lap to go here in Southern National for heat race number 1. And it's all eyes on Merrick Watchorn, the winningest driver in TWIGI iRacing competition. How about a heat race to get things kicked off for 2023? He wins. Heat 1, leading every single lap out of Jacob Elkins, his teammate. And Timmy Reed rounding out the top 3. Holiday, Jernigan, Stanley round out the 6 finishers in heat race number 1. So here's how it looks for heat race number 2. Maurice Gamillion in the 44. Then you have Doug Tuttle in second place, outside front row. Patrick Hernandez, row 3, or row 2, excuse me, alongside John Buwalda Jr. He's in 3rd. James Wurtsema in 5th. Alan Isaac in 6th. Michael Milo in 7th. Tom Dixon 8th. James Lovejoy round out the field here. As everyone slowly queues up here. Looks like Alan Isaac and Tom Dixon will not take to the grid here. So this may be a pretty easy one to figure out. All 7 cars that take the start here set to advance, making it easy. Pace car pull off here. We'll see if I'm high above. Lights are on. Pace car is off. Green flag in the air. And we're underway for heat race number 2. Competitive top 3 so far. Gamillion leading the way ahead of Tuttle and Hernandez. Wurtsema 4th, Buwalda 5th. Then Milo 6th, Lovejoy in 7th. Watchorn set the bar, leading all 75 laps in Heat 1. Gamillion's going to try to do the same here in Heat 2. Looks like a little bit of a struggle there between Buwalda and Lovejoy. They're already half a lap down. It's a car in the wall, I believe. That was Wurtsema in the wall. Oh no, Tuttle spun around. So first caution out on lap 7. Tuttle was battling for second place with Patrick Hernandez. So we'll see what happens to Tuttle here. Going through turns 1 and 2. Oh, just loops it. Ooh, hard hit too. Tuttle will come down pit lane for repairs. Gamillion leads the way. So we're under caution for the first time in heat race number 2, for the 4th time total, for an incident involving George Tuttle, or Doug Tuttle, so, excuse me. Green flag back in the air. Underway once again here at Southern National. Chameleon trying to break away. Wurtzma in second, holding up Hernandez. A little bit of damage on the back end of Wurtzma's car. Wurtzma wheeling and dealing right now in this second heat. Caution's out again, and it is for Milo. And here's why. Spin here by Milo in 3 and 4. Looks like the issue also affected, may have affected Tuttle in the same way, because Tuttle bogged down out of 4. So they'll re-rack here. Again, this is the second of 2 heats here at Southern National. Then we have a 100-lap feature. Again, caution laps do not count. Why we're still stuck on lap 10. Doubling up here, which means we'll be going green at the end of this lap. Green flag in the air. Here we go. A little bit more of a challenge there by Hernandez in the 19 over Wurtzma in the 4. Wurtzma has to kind of give up that pursuit for second place. Tuttle back up to 4th after starting this race in second place. Buwalda in 5th. A little bit of tag of the wall there by Hernandez, who is hot on the heels on Go Million. Ooh, outside move by Hernandez, trying to hit pressure Go Million, and it works side by side into 3. Hernandez trying to make something work. Go Million and Hernandez make contact. Go Million gets thrown out of the top 3 and out of 4th by Buwalda. So a slight pressure and a slight mistake has moved Gamillion from the lead to 5th. Hernandez now leads, and the battle for 2nd continues between Wurtzema and Tuttle. That was a bit wild. Wurtzema falls down to 3rd. We watched that battle. Tuttle back to where he started, but now has to somehow reel in 1.6 seconds to Hernandez. Tuttle up to 2nd place. Hernandez in the lead. Rayburg number 19 for Hernandez. Lovejoy in pit lane. Milo going a lap down. There's Tuttle in 2nd place. Not very often you see an Arma 2 livery here. Arma 3, sorry. Never often you see a bit of a crossover there between Arma and iRacing, but there we are, the 86. Also getting around Milo. Wurtzema trying to get to the same lap traffic. Milo not going to be an issue as Wurtzema gets, you see the damage on the back of that number 4. Bawada in 5th, and 4th, excuse me, in car number 5. Gamillion from Washington, D.C. Had a little bit of contact there with his teammate and Hernandez that saw him go down from 1st to 5th. He's hot in the heels of Bawada still as they get around Milo in the 00. Right on board with Gamillion as he tries to get around John Bawada Jr. These two pounding each other pretty intensely right now for that fourth spot. Tuttle under pressure for second place. Battle for position here. Tuttle on the 86, Wortsma on the 4. These two battling it out, as is this battle for fourth. Getting around Milo once again here. Gamillion and Bawada have not left each other alone. Battle over fourth still raging on. Gamillion looks to the inside. Bawada keeps a wide berth. Almost contact between the two cars. Side by side, Gamillion trying to finally dispatch Bawada. It's been about 20 laps. And he finally does so. Battle for second still raging on between Tuttle and Wortsma. Lovejoy sitting in pit lane, safely in the transfer spot. Milo sitting sixth. Kind of just hoping something happens here, but right now it's been Tuttle, Wortsma, and Gamillion. Top four. Bawada fifth. Milo comes into pit lane on lap 45. Wortsma, he's keeping Tuttle honest. But now you got to keep an eye on Gamillion, who's now been unleashed from behind Bawada. "24 laps to go. And it's now a three-horse race for second place. Patrick Hernandez leads the way. He is well and truly out front by 4.3 seconds. Pedals pulled away. However, Gamillion made quick work of getting around Wurtzima for third place. Made extremely quick work of Wurtzima. It was keeping Total honest. I think that damage on the back of Wurtzima's car beginning to have an effect on how that car's handling. Still a three-car fight, though. If one of these two make a mistake, Wurtzima's on top of it. Coming down to the last 14 laps, still a hard-fought battle for second place. Wurtzima's backed off a little bit, letting these two battle it out. Gamillion looking to make it a 1-2 once again for Watch Horny Motorsports, just like it was in Heat 1. But it's going to be hard fought here. Tuttle's going to try to be the disruptor with 11 laps to go, coming to 10 laps to go. And caution's out. Caution's out, and it's for Buwalda. And that freezes things up a little bit. Caution's out, and the lap counter's frozen at lap 67. And that's not what Hernandez wanted to see. It's not what Tuttle wanted to see either. This resets some things. Spin 3 and 4 by John Buwalda has put this field on ice. Wurtzima came into pit lane. Crucially, Wurtzima came down pit lane. That's a big deal. Does the rest of the field follow suit? They do not. Wow. This is going to be good. Wurtzima actually goes a lap down here, I think. Interesting. Actually, I don't think he goes a lap down here. I think he stays in the lead lap. I think he did some repairs because the back of his car looks a lot better. I think with the field frozen, I think he stays on the lead lap here. So, free pit stop for him. And yeah, he stays on the lead lap. So one of the perks there being on the lead lap and being able to take that repair under the no laps under caution rule, he's gonna have fresh tires and he's gonna be able to let it rip here in the last 9 laps of this race. keep an eye on the number 4 machine. They're going to double up here and get ready to go racing. But Wurtzema, keep an eye on him outside second row in the number 4. Fresh tires. They the rest of the leaders are on 67 lap old tires at this point. Actually, older than that. A little bit of wheel spin. But away we go. Thing is with Buwalda, it's going to take a couple, not with Buwalda, but with Wurtzema as well. Those tires take a couple laps to warm up. We saw that in qualifying. And the track's only gotten colder as the lights have come on, the sun's set. Coming to 6 laps to go. These are quick laps. Gamillion got second place pretty easily from Tuttle. But the pressure's on. Five to go. Limited contact there on the wall by Tuttle. Coming to 2 to go. Gamillion, does he kind of force, does he try to force an issue like what Hernandez did early on? Wurtzema going for 3rd. Buwalda with a slide. Buwalda sits in 5th pretty safely, but Wurtzema coming into the white flag takes 3rd away from Tuttle. Not enough time for Wurtzema to do much about it, but right strategy call to make. Coming to the checkered flag, Patrick Hernandez wins heat number 2. Gamillion, Wurtzema, and Tuttle under a blanket under that finish. Alrighty, this is where it gets interesting. This is now for the feature. You see how the starting grid lines up. It's Watchorn, Hernandez, Elkins, Gamillion. It's a Watchorny Motorsports 1, 2, 3, 4. Timmy Reed, James Wurtzema, row 3. John Holliday, Doug Tuttle, row 4. Jernigan, Buwalda, row 5. Stanley Milo, row 6. A little bit further down the grid, Anchapenti, we know that he won't start this race. James Lovejoy in 14th, the last of those that transferred in. "100 laps" is the feature. For those joining us at the top of the hour, here we go. Green flag in the air, and away we go. The feature race of the Clash of the Titans is underway. And caution is out already for an issue with Jack Stanley and Doug Tuttle. And that's what it looks like. That's Stanley and that's Tuttle. Early contact here, lap 1. What happens here? Ooh, it's a hip check. The 40 of Jernigan hip check the 86 of Tuttle. This is what he got to see. 40 just keeps pushing up and up and up. And the oncoming path of Stanley here. So Watchorn in this race lead as everything kind of just resets really quickly here for the feature. Green flag back in the air. Here we go. Ooh, contact there. A little Lanetka between Elkins and Hernandez. Wurtsma up to 4th. A little bit of argy-bargy on that restart. Hernandez settling in behind Elkins. Watchorn at the front has pulled away. Wurtsma staying ahead of John Holiday. Gomillion in 6th, Buwalda in 7th. Then it's Tuttle, Stanley, and Jernigan top 10. Watchorn has pulled away by 1.8. It's been untouchable tonight. Battle for second between Elkins and Hernandez. Jernigan, lap car, getting dispatched here. Wurtsma, I believe, has fallen out of this race. Nope, he's not out of this race. He is just 2 laps down. Caution's out once again. And it is for Bulwada, who has spun. I believe it's just a simple spin here. Contact between Stanley and Jernigan was behind this. Entering turn 3, a little hot. Saw a little wheel hop there. Everyone avoids him. Good job there. Bulwada kept his lap. He was rolling before he got lapped by Watchhorn, who has come down pit lane early. So Watchhorn, early pit stop here on lap 23. But most of the field came in. Interesting strategy call here. So it's Watchhorn, Elkins, Hernandez, Holiday, Gamillion, Tuttle, Bulwada, Wurtzema, Stanley, with Jernigan a lap down. Be going great at the end of this lap, it looks like. See if anyone can hold up to Watchhorn right now. Watchhorn has led every lap so far. Green flag in the air, and away we go. Watchhorn with a good jump. Elkins sliding in second place pretty easily. Hernandez third, Holiday fourth, then Tuttle and Bulwada top 6. Caution's out for Jack Stanley, who has spun it. That is turn 2. Believe me, I had a similar issue to Bulwada a few laps ago. This is behind the 44 Gamillion. Wheel hop, and there's a slip and slide in front of Jernigan. Alrighty. Third caution of the feature is about to be restarted here. Again, for those that are just now tuning in, caution laps do not count. We're on lap 34, about to start lap 35. Green flag in the air. Watchorn has led every lap so far. He dominated Heat 1 in the same fashion. Elkins sitting second. Hernandez battling with Holiday for third. A little bit of contact there as Holiday goes sit wide. Tried sliding it into a very tight space, and now it's to deal with Buwalda as the price. Tuttle in 6th, Gamillion in 7th, Portsma 8th, Stanley 9th, Jernigan 10th. All 10 cars on the lead lap. Little look from my above. Lights from the on, sun fully out of the way. Merrick Watchorn leads the way. Watchorn beginning to pull away just a little bit. Approaching the halfway point in this race, it's Watchorn, Elkins, Hernandez, Holiday, Buwalda, top 5. Watchorn in your screen opening up a 2-second gap. Approaching the halfway point in this feature race. Watchorn opened up a 3.5-second lead. Elkins now facing pressure from his teammate Patrick Hernandez. Appreciate everyone tuning in on a Friday night to join us here for the Clash of the Titans to start off the 2023 TWIGI iRacing Series season. Watchorn Motorsports has a 1-2-3 with Watchorn, Elkins, and Hernandez leading the way. Holiday 4th, Buwalda 5th, Tuttle 6th. Bit of a smorgasbord of drivers here battling for that 5th spot that Bawada's occupying. Gomillion went wide. Almost went straight into the wall. Had to get out of it completely and will drop down the 9th here. That was wild. Appreciate the bits, Thomas Lane. Very appreciated. Caution's out for Hernandez. Hernandez set a slide in turn 2. 4th caution of the night. Side-by-side battle. You saw the rear brakes glowing on that number 9. And the wheel hop. Hernandez sitting in just a little too deep. And that was enough to call the caution. So pit stops for the 2nd time. Leader's already in. That's Watchorn taking tires. Jack Stanley stays out. Bold strategy call there by Jack Stanley. See if it pays off. Wild stuff. Getting ready to go back to green from the 4th caution of the night in this feature race. It's Stanley now in the lead ahead of Watchorn, Elkins, Holiday, and Hernandez. It's going to get interesting here. Stanley stayed out under that last caution. What does fresh tires mean? It means that. Watchorn immediately got to it. Stanley just got split through wide there by Hernandez and 38 of Holiday. Elkins in 2nd. Hernandez and Holiday battling for the 3rd spot now. Hernandez might have the advantage here. 38 not letting it go. Oh, and that is Holiday that's gone around. Made that caution number 5 on the feature race tonight. So pit stops underway. Holiday back in pit lane. Again, we saw this in Heat Race 2. Laps are frozen under caution, so pitting does not make you lose extra lap time here. 1 lap to green. All 10 cars still on the lead lap. Coming to our 5th restart of the night. Watchorn, Elkins, Hernandez, Stanley, and Buwalda. They aborted that restart. Gonna give it one more lap. Going at the end of lap 69. Nice. Green flag in the air. Watchorn gets another really good jump. Hernandez now firmly in 3rd. Stanley in 4th. Stanley still has not pit. His last stop was on 22. And that's why Tuttle contacts. No caution. Everyone kept pointed straight, but Stanley now in the way. Tuttle's got to be frustrated. They let Holiday and Gamillion right back on through. So Watchorn, Elkins, Hernandez in the top 3. 4th place now Holiday. 5th place Gamillion. Then Tuttle in 6th. Wurtzema 7th. Buwalda 8th. Stanley in 9th. Caution's out. It is for Wurtzema, and Buwalda is also involved. Looks like it may have actually started with Gamillion. Did he send it in deep? Yes, he does. Ooh, hard hit by Wurtzema and Buwalda, who got shot straight to the outside wall. So Wurtzema missing the front of his car. So pit stop's definitely going to be needed for a few. So we're under our 6th caution of the night. The laps are beginning to tick away. Getting ready to go back to racing here on the 6th caution of the night here in the feature race. Coming to 19 laps to go. Green flag back in the air. Away we go. It's Watchorn, Elkins, Holiday. battling once again for the top 3 with Hernandez. Caution's out. Stanley. Again, he's not pit since lap 22, and the age on those tires is beginning to show. And it looks like this is just a half spin. He was already in the back. Rough debut. No, he got a little bit of help from Buwalda, who sent him around. A little bit of help. On board with Buwalda here. It's a little bit too deep by Buwalda. So Stanley went around, this time not of his own accord. Seventh caution of the night. Green flag in the air, 13 laps to go. Keeping on 3 at a holiday as they go side by side. And now forced 3 wide with Wurtsema and Tuttle. This top 6, elbows out. Almost a wheel hop there from Tuttle in the 86. Wurtsema gave him a wide berth. But Tuttle trying to force an error and forces an error on himself. Wurtsema up to the top 5. Holiday still trying to pressure Hernandez. Watch Horny Motorsports trying to make it a 1-2-3 to kick off the season. Wurtsema tagged the wall there a little bit. Threw him all sorts of sideways. Less than 10 to go. It's been smooth sailing for Watchorn at the front of this field. Let every lap of Heat 1. Has led every lap under green here in the main event. With 6 laps to go, Elkins can only watch as he pulls away little by little. Oh, watch out! Caution's out! Holiday sent it a little bit too wide and forces contact with Buwalda. And Buwalda's not going to be happy about that. So this changes a lot here. Coming to the final few laps of this race. Holiday comes in with damage on his car. Bellata stays out, interestingly enough. Alrighty, coming to the first green white checkered attempts. Another stellar restart by Watchorn. Bellata trying to follow suit here in 4th place. There's going to be another caution. And it's Hernandez. Hernandez and Stanley. Looks like Holiday got another piece of it. This is the restart for Hernandez. Bogged it down. And around it goes. Ooh, hard hit by Stanley. And Stanley got stuck. Right on board with Jack Stanley here. Yeah, so he tries to get off the wall there, but only so much he could do. On board with Hernandez. As around it goes. So, second attempt at a green-white checkered finish. Stanley, the only driver in pit lane. Watchorn, Elkins, Bellata, Wurtsema, Jernigan, Gamillion, Holiday, Tuttle, Hernandez, top 9. Will they make it back? Jernigan went straight up to the wall. Will they take the white flag? They will. Oh, will they? Will they? White flag came out. But did Watchorn take the white flag before the caution? It looks like he did. He will end this race under caution as the winner. Watchorn wins the Clash of the Titans. The timing of that car spinning, I believe that was Holiday that spun, means we will end this race under green. Under caution, I should say. But Watchorn wins, with Elkins second and John Bellata will finish third. So Bellata with a good third-place finish, unofficially his best result in the series. Fortunately, this is not a points-paying event. But from Eric Watchorn, way to kick off the 2023 season with a win here at Southern National. Points on the line next week at Daytona. But tonight, they burn it down. He wins, leading a 1-2 for his team. Phenomenal result there, but Walt having a little bit of fun. Jacob Elkins, part of the 1-2 effort for Watch Running Motorsports. Series champion, finishes second here tonight. Phenomenal job here. We'll get to hear from Watch One here in just a second. Merrick, this is Carmen from the ABM booth. You got a copy. Alrighty, what a way to kick off 2023. Let every lap in the first heat and let every green flag lap here in the feature race. You had it dialed in, and it seemed like Jacob Elkins, as much as he tried, just couldn't do anything with you. How did the car feel tonight? Pretty good turnout here tonight. 18 cars out of the 20 that were invited. So a pretty good turnout here for a race Southern National, a track that we've never really seen on this circuit before. But it's obviously a great way to obviously kick off the dust and sort of just get back into the flow of things. A win tonight. The momentum kind of kicks in a little bit early. What does it mean for your team? Obviously, your team looked really dominant tonight. Obviously, a 1-2 with Elkins in second. Obviously, Hernandez didn't get the race finish that he wanted, being top 3 all race long. But for the team, you're obviously looking at like Elkins, looking at yourself, looking at Hernandez, looking at Gamillion in the 44. How does this kind of build up the momentum for you all going into Daytona next week?
Guest.
Let's double check here. Let's see. Try now. Let's see here.
Test 1, test 2. Hello.
We should be good now. All right.
All right.
Not sure what's going on there. We'll have to double check on that here in a second.
Yeah, it's no problem. No problem. But like I said, you know, it comes down to my teammates. We were working together, trying to get up here, showing that we were definitely the dominating 4. Hopefully, we can keep that going throughout the rest of the season and proving how well, you know, we can get this done. So the race was great all along. I mean, we were tight and loose. Hopefully we'll just come back stronger next week and show that Watch Running Motorsports is going to try to go for team standings and the Drivers' Championship.
Obviously, a big night here tonight for the team. A lot of effort went into the night. Obviously, top to bottom here. Phenomenal result just for yourself. Dominated tonight by and far. Won both heats. You won heat 1. Hernandez won heat 2. And obviously, you won 2 here tonight. If there's anyone you want to shout and say thank you to, anyone in particular, obviously you shout out your teammates here. But if anyone else want to shout out and say thank you to, Merrick, the floor is yours. Congrats on a phenomenal and a dominant race win to kick off the season.
Thank you so much. So yeah, I want to shout out to all my teammates, Jacob Elkins, Patrick Hernandez, and Maurice Gamillion. You know, we came out of last year kind of all butting heads, but now we're all buddy, and hopefully we keep going. I want to shout out to ABN. Thank you guys for definitely coming on board. We appreciate you guys so much, just showing out and, you know, giving us the love that we believe we deserve. And I just want to thank y'all so much, truly and honestly. Like, I'm so happy that y'all jumped on board with us. Hopefully we keep giving you more exciting races towards the whole season. I want to shout out to, of course, the Watch Innovations Group Incorporated. I want to shout out to Capture the Occasion, Futuristic Studios, and of course Quantum Security Alliance. Besides that, great race overall, and hopefully we can talk to y'all for the rest of the season.
Absolutely. Obviously Daytona next week. Merrick, congrats on the night, and can't wait to see how y'all put together Daytona.
Thanks, Carmen.
That was Merrick Watchorn, race winner tonight. We got 2 more interviews. We're interviewing the entire podium. Jacob Elkins up next, second place here in Southern National. Jacob, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy. Jacob, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy. Double check here. I believe he can hear us. I don't think I can hear him. I have to see what's going on here. Looks like we cannot hear him. Give us just a second here. We could hear a Watchorn, but we couldn't hear Elkins. We may have the same issue with Buwada. We'll have to double check here. Still can't hear Elkins. Give us just a second. We'll get this sorted out here. All right. It looks like it was a permissions issue there. Jacob, this is Carmen from the ABM booth. You got a copy?
Hello, hello, hello.
There we go. Now I got you. All righty. Second place tonight. Obviously, competing there with your teammate there with Merrick Watchorn, and obviously coming in after winning the championship last year. Bit of an oddball being here at Southern National, but a lot of good racing here tonight. Obviously, second place to kick the season off. How you feeling after tonight?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Car felt great for the most part. I had my moments where it kicked off a little loose, but yeah, I completely expected myself to not do very good in this race. I did very, very bad in practice. I was just spinning out constantly. Decent qualify. I think we qualified third, and we pretty much stayed up front the whole race. I feel like I would have had a better chance if Merrick wasn't up there. He's just got so much speed. It's very, very hard to compete with him.
Obviously, you look at how Southern National went, and obviously you look ahead here at Daytona. You look at how this season just begins. It's going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, starting out short track racing, just letting it kind of like kick the dust off. Just looked like a lot of fun out there tonight. Obviously, it got a little bit hectic there at the end. But obviously, now it's all about defending the championship that you earned last season. Obviously, Daytona, Atlanta, Phoenix, 3 tracks that you have a lot of familiarity with. How do you go about kicking off the season the way you ended it last year?
Well, is it New Atlanta or is it Old Atlanta we're going to? I'm not sure, actually.
Old Atlanta.
Old Atlanta. I'm pretty confident there. I like those types of tracks. Daytona is just... It's Daytona, and I'm not even going to make that race because I'll be going to the real race in real life. So, but I feel like I'll do okay at Atlanta.
Well, that's obviously a good start. Obviously, missing Daytona. Hopefully, you have a lot of fun at Daytona this weekend, or next weekend, I should say. But obviously, we'll see you at Atlanta and then Phoenix. So your season gets to start off with a little bit more fun, a little bit more of a driver-centric track there. With Atlanta being very tire-safe central. It's a lot of fun seeing you here. Obviously, we got to see you a lot last year. You'd see even more here in the TWIGI iRacing series here on Friday nights. Before we let you go and kind of just let you unwind here, if there's anyone I want to shout out and say thank you to, the floor is yours, Jacob. Obviously, fantastic to be able to hear from you again, and hopefully we get to hear from you a lot this season.
Yeah, thank you so much. Shout out my teammates. They're all amazing guys. Maurice, Patrick, and Merrick. And shout out to my boy John S. Bawalda for getting third.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, buddy. Good job. And you for putting on the broadcast. You do a great job. And Merrick for putting on the league.
Awesome stuff. Yeah, congrats to John. We'll talk to him here in just a second, hear his thoughts, but absolutely fantastic result for him as well. Jacob, obviously, awesome hearing from you again. Can't wait to hear from you again, hopefully at Atlanta. Until then, have fun at Daytona next week. Stay safe, and we'll catch you later, man. Have a good night.
Yep. Thank you. Appreciate it.
That was Jacob Elkins' second place finisher tonight. Obviously, high spirits. He gets to be at Daytona next week for the 500. So we won't see him on track next Friday, but we'll see him at Atlanta 2 weeks from now. We got one more interview to conduct, and that is John Bowata Jr. We can't wait to hear what he has to say here in Southern National. John, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy?
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good. I'm assuming you're doing pretty well yourself. Started off the season with a third place tonight. You kind of just let things fall as they were. You were in the middle of some of the chaos, and you pulled your way through. Kind of walk through how your race went tonight.
Well, this was a tough track. I had never been to it before. So the first heat race, I just sat in my chair and watched. I watched Merrick turn his laps, and I watched Jacob do his laps, his 75 laps, and kind of got the feel of where my brake points should be and how hard I should be accelerating. And with that, I was able to also see how everybody was wrecking and where they were going. So yeah, this last green-white checker, I was able to make some left-right turns and avoid the wrecks and picked up a third.
Obviously, it's a big night. Obviously, Jacob Elkins kind of shouted you out. The races that we've seen you in here on ABN, whether it was on Monday nights with NSR or otherwise, you didn't have the best of luck. So luck kind of fell your way there a little bit. How good does that feel? Obviously, kicking off a brand new season with things kind of going right for a change. It seems like it's always been the other way around, but now it's kind of fallen that right way. How does that compare, and how does that kind of give you a little bit of optimism and encouragement going into next week with the season starting for points?
Well, in comparison to last year, we were doing trucks, and now we're in the Xfinity car. So I've been doing and practicing as much as I can to get the feel of this car, and so I've got it down, but it feels great. To start the season off with a new car and taking third, it's a good feeling, and I just hope it carries through the rest of the year and through Daytona next week.
Absolutely, it's fantastic seeing you on track here and seeing you do so well, up 7 spots, the biggest gainer tonight across the heats and the feature. So another feather in your cap here tonight. Phenomenal job avoiding the accidents, but also keeping yourself in it even under the green flag circumstances. Still keeping yourself racy. We saw you battling there for the top 5 with Wurtsema and with Gamillion and with Tuttle. So keeping yourself in it, keeping yourself elbows out. We absolutely love seeing it there in the number 5. Fantastic livery tonight as well. Before we let you go and kind of let yourself relax and unwind, if there's anyone you want to shout out and say thank you to, John, the floor is yours. Congrats on an amazing podium to kick off the year.
Well, I'm the Alan Kowicki of TWIGI right now. I'm just by myself here, and I race for myself. And Merrick, it's Merrick and I. He does a lot of practices through the week, and I always jump in there with him. So yeah, I got to give a shout out to him for helping me with the setups, or me helping him with the setups, and just getting the feel of the tracks. So, yeah, if anything, I got to give some credit to Merrick. And it's a good feeling.
Absolutely. Hopefully we get to hear a lot more from you on the podium stand here this year. But, John, again, congrats. Way to start up the season here on a short track that is very difficult, as you mentioned. Practice paying off for sure. Happy to see you a little bit more confident here in the car. Good luck next week at Daytona. Hopefully we get to talk to you then. But enjoy it. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks. Have a good night.
Thank you. You as well.
All right, bye.
That was John Bowata Jr., third place finish here tonight. Fantastic to see him, a really stand-up guy. Stand up all 3 on the podium. Watchhorn, Elkins, and Bowata. Congrats to all 3 of them here tonight. We'll go over the full results here. We'll start with Heat 1. Heat 1, this is how it looked. Merrick Watchhorn start to finish, dominated that race. Jacob Elkin second, Timmy Reed third. Then it was Holiday, Jernigan, Stanley that all finished the race there. Giovanni Acipenti, we saw him complete most of the race, but didn't get to finish. Same with Chris Van Mistrict. Alec Daffin did not take the start. Heat race number 2. Patrick Hernandez dominated that one ahead of Maurice Gamillion. James Wurtzema finished third. Phenomenal result for him in Heat 2 to get himself into a decent spot to start the main event. Doug Tuttle in fourth. John Bawada, top 5 in Heat 2. A sign of things to come from him ahead of Michael Milo and James Lovejoy. And then obviously the feature race here tonight. Merrick Watchorn dominated. Jacob Elkin second, John Bawada Jr. in third. Wurtzema with fourth. Both of them phenomenal results tonight. Josh Jernigan fifth. Maurice Gamillion in sixth. Doug Tuttle in seventh. Patrick Hernandez in eighth. Then John Holiday and Jack Stanley rounding out the top 10 here tonight of those that took the start. From Southern National, that's going to do it for us here tonight. We have a lot of action coming up here over the next few days. Tomorrow night, we head to Kentucky, our home track for the ARCS Midwest Barbecue Saturday Night Showdown Truck Series action from our home state. We hope to see you all then. Sunday night, it's the ARCS Daytona 250 Duels to set up the grid for their Great American Race. And then Monday night, HTL Cup Series action. It's the BFL 300, their second 300-mile race of the season. A true test of endurance from Charlotte Motor Speedway Monday night. All that action begins 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. But until then, on behalf of everyone here on ABN, on behalf of TWIGI and the TWIGI iRacing series, I'm Carmen Hardy. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, have some fun this weekend. We'll see you tomorrow night at Kentucky.